Welcome to my channel, Let's Talk. Let's do talk. Let's talk about Census Bureau. I'm sure you heard about the Census Bureau, correct? Well, you must think that the Census Bureau is all about numbers. It's not. It's really not. It has a lot to do with not just the statistics of the states, the statistics of demographics, whites, Hispanics, blacks, Asians, and the other mixed group. Have you ever noticed on the census, when the Census Bureau has been completed, there are conversations regarding voting and voters' rights? Have you ever noticed that? Because if you didn't, you really need to understand how that is tied in with the Census Bureau. Okay? That's number one. The other thing is, with the Census Bureau, have you also noticed that there is dezoning or rezoning? However you choose to look at it. You might really need to find out what that is about. You might really need to find out what that is about, because you may not have even thought about it. But with the whole issue of voters' rights and dezoning based on Census Bureau, I really want you to pay attention. First of all, the one that I saw said that the white population is, I believe, 67%. The Hispanic population is 18%. African American or black population is, I believe, 12%. And Asians is might be more, I don't know, than African, but I thought it's below African American at 11, but I don't know. Um, the point that I want to really make is, once, based on the news, once this Census Bureau, this collecting of data based on racial population is completed, the next thing that's being done is that there's this issue of they have to change, and this is how I understand dezoning. They have to change the different representational populations in order to have, I would say, voters' rights diminished. In other words, to create disparaging results between representational outcomes. As an example, certain areas, certain counties may receive a certain amount of representation based on the population. So with that said and done, populations can become disparaged. As an example, I don't see what the big concern is about African Americans, but then it is a big concern because you have across the nation African Americans being attacked. African Americans are experiencing civil genocide, an internal genocide within the country, the United States. With that said and done, I am just drawing your attention. I will try to put some clips, news clips, where you can decide for yourself. Does this not sound a little strange when you hear someone say that this population, the white population, is diminishing, and because of the Census Bureau, there will be dezoning in this area or that area? Is that not a concern to you? Especially when black people are constantly talking about coming out to vote. Come out to vote. Come on. Let your voices be heard. Exercise your rights. And then you realize that in spite of all of that, that the powers that be are going to redesign your rights for representation based on zones. I want you to think about that. I'll come back and revisit this again, but I'm going to try and put some clips in so that I am more clear. But what the Census Bureau data does, it lays the foundation for black people to be disparaged and for them to be disenfranchised. Okay, and if you think different, fam, let me know. But when I'm done putting the clips in, you tell me. That's out of their mouth. In a country that's not being held accountable for fatally and consistently attacking, the consistent fatal attacks on African Americans, then you have the dezoning, and then you have representation being rearranged based on the Census Bureau. I think that is questionable. What do you think? Peace and blessings.